Dr. Gerald Chan, Director of Hang Lung Group and co-founder with Mr. Ronnie Chan of the privately held Morningside Group, will now make a few closing remarks to conclude the announcement and presentation of the 2008 Hang Lung Mathematics Awards. Dr. Chan, please.
Well, it's always nice to have the last word. But before we part from such a lovely evening and a momentous evening that we have shared together, let me leave you with a few thoughts and a few observations from having been in this Hang Lung Math competition the last few days. I attended some of the oral defense sessions. Indeed, I'm extremely impressed by the quality of our students and the work that they have done. And I'm very proud, that Hong Kong has finally produced, such outstanding mathematicians or mathematicians yet to be. We've got to have the next Yao. So Hong Kong has got to claim the next Yao. The students spent this evening, or some of the students spent the evening interacting with the admissions deans from the 3 universities from America. And it was indeed an interactive sessions, both sides spoke. One of the points that kept recurring in the comments from the students was that by participating in this competition and the research that they had done, they had entered into the pleasure or the enjoyment of the beauty of mathematics. When mathematics becomes beautiful to you, you have indeed arrived. I'm not a mathematician, but I was trained indeed as a scientist, and I would share the same comment with you that science is absolutely beautiful. To this day, my greatest pleasure is indeed reading a scientific paper. I don't go to karaokes, I don't go to movies, I don't watch TVs. I much rather read a scientific paper. Now, I would encourage all of you students to pursue your passion, follow, and your enjoyment of the beauty of mathematics. I know this is a difficult course to undertake. Hong Kong is indeed a very utilitarian society, a very commercial place. Many of you, even if you study mathematics in university, you may be tempted, to become a Wall Street quant, a rocket scientist. Well, I invite you to read the newspaper every day nowadays, and you know what they have wrought. What we're suffering today is indeed to large measure, the work of all these quants. Back in the early 1990s, when I was still in Boston, I saw many of the Chinese mathematicians who went to Americas to study under the Caspia program. Eventually, after the PhD studies, they all did their postdoc in financial mathematics. I think, well, just read the newspaper every day today, and it speaks for itself what they have done. So the temptation will be indeed there as you go through life, to become or to succumb to this excessively utilitarian culture of Hong Kong. I hope many of you will stay the course, pursue your passion, and enjoy the beauty of mathematics. Now, I must also recognize the teachers. I'm so impressed by these students. They couldn't have possibly done the work that they had done had it not been for the guidance that they had received from the teachers. I think they too are the unsung heroes, and tonight I very much like to recognize them. When I was in high school here in Hong Kong, I had a horrible biology teacher. He just graduated from university. He was just a horrible teacher. And then I said, I'll never study biology. And I went to studying engineering. And then after my second master's degree, I ran into this professor in radiation biology. And he made the field come alive, and I decided I'd do my doctorate with him. So after a master's in engineering, a master's in physics, I switched and went into life science. And I can't tell you how pleased I am today, to have studied the life sciences. So the work of a good teacher indeed can change the course of many students. And tonight I am very grateful, and I'd like to recognize all the teachers for their hard work and what they have done for these students. Now, one observation I'd like to make, and that is, if you look at the schools represented by the 15 teams of finalists here, you don't find the so-called traditional elite schools, such as Yao's alma mater, conspicuously absent. He went to Puiting. Such as my alma mater, St. Paul's Co-ed, conspicuously absent. Rather, we have many schools from Shatin, from Chunwan. Now, for me, this is what I call the democratization of excellence. And I'm very pleased to see that this has taken place in Hong Kong, that excellence is no longer the exclusive realm of a few sort of old-line traditional schools. Indeed, excellence has been democratized, and I'm very, very pleased to see that. Now, before I close, I certainly like to add to what Professor Yao has said, and that is to call on the Hong Kong government to give greater support to science. Now, let me tell you, I am very active in investing in mainland China, and I see how all the local governments in China are actively supporting my field is biotechnology, and how much subsidy they are willing to give, and how much they vie with each other to attract good science and technology-based company to be located there. I see many cities like Suzhou, even Dongguan. Traditionally, you think of Dongguan as a place, where they make shirts, shoes, very low value-added, cheap labor type of manufacturing. But the city is actively redeploying the tax revenue from all that cheap labor, low-cost manufacturing companies to build up a high-tech, a science and technology-based economy. Now, I know Hong Kong, we live in a tradition of a laissez-faire government. I call on the Hong Kong government, to take an active role. We in America have had 8 years of laissez-faire, of deregulation, and I think, the pendulum is about to swing to the other side. If Hong Kong as a society does not invest in a future in science and technology, it will fast be left behind by many other cities in mainland China. Not only government, but I would say also the private sector. Earlier this year, about 6 months ago, I participated in a ceremony at Hong Kong U where it was a commemoration of all the endowed chair professorships that was set up in the last 2 years. There were some 25 endowed professorships set up. Of all 25 or so, there was only one that was in the natural sciences. That's the one that we endow, the Morningstar Professorship in Chemical Biology. There were many chairs set up for medicine, for law, for business, for Chinese studies, for Buddhist studies. But nobody had endowed a single chair in any of the natural sciences for a long time. So I would say to the private sector that we, as the private sector who cares for the future of Hong Kong, we too must do our part and invest in science. We have to support our universities. We have to support our scientific professors or science professors and all the research that they do, so that there is perhaps in the future a future for the city of Hong Kong in a science and technology-based economy. As I see all the best and brightest minds of Hong Kong nowadays going into investment banking, trying to be, becoming lawyers, it calls into memory the tagline of, there's an organization in America called the Negro College Fund, and their tagline was, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." I see all these young people, the best and the brightest, all wanting to become investment bankers. All I can say to you is a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I hope we as a society would come together and pool our resources together to inspire our young people to study the sciences, to go for the PhD, and in the future to devote themselves to the research and understanding of nature by the study of science. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for sharing this lovely evening with us. Once again, we'd like to congratulate all the students, whether you're a winner, whether you're not a winner, as we had just seen, just the mere fact that you have participated in this competition, you are a winner. And I'm sure the reward you already have reaped by the pleasure of entering into mathematics. We congratulate you and we wish you all the best and a bright future in mathematics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chan.